Hey, what up, team? It's Joe Mill here, back with Killer Miller Q. Today, we're going to put a little love and respect on that leg quarter. That's right, we're going to be doing a Cuban-inspired dish. We got Killer Miller style Cuban Mojo chicken. Let's go. All right, team, cut the music. Let's get into this leg quarter. Let me tell you, this is probably one of the most disrespected pieces of chicken that you can find is the good old-fashioned leg quarter. But one of the best things at a barbecue is when you go to that grill and you see a gang of leg quarters laid out. As long as somebody know what they're doing, that can literally be some of the best eating you got on the pit. For me, the leg quarter goes all the way back to college. That used to be a staple. We was getting through with them leg quarters, and then I let it go for a while. But then all of a sudden, after getting really back into my grill game, I started finding out, man, it's some good meat over there. These are a couple things that I find out to be key. First off, I always start with a good piece of meat. Leg quarters, you got a whole lot more fat. Get rid of some of that extra skin off of there, as well as take the time, flip them babies over, maybe scrape off a little bit of that yellowish skin. That'll help out a ton. The other thing is I had to learn over time was that's not like normal pieces of chicken. When you hear that you want to get to 165 and everybody's barely trying to get there and everything, that's because they worried about their breast drying out and there's hardly any fat in the breast. When you get to the leg quarter, you got tons of tendons and juice and this, that, and the other, all type of stuff that you don't really want in there. So I like to overcook those leg quarters, or even when you talk about wings. Most people are looking for that char and so on and so forth. We got some plane going through. But most people looking for the char and everything else, you're not going to get that at 160, 165. So for my leg quarters, me personally, and that thing ain't even thinking about coming off the grill until it's at least 175. When we talk about wings and stuff like that, or anytime I'm doing stuff on my dark meat, I could easily go somewhere between 175, 185. Really, what it comes down to at that point is, what does my eye tell me? When do I get to the crispiness I want? When do I get that little bit of char on the chicken that I like? And that's how I do it. Now, as far as going with this Cuban inspired mojo mix, I was in Miami not too long ago. Cuban food is amazing. I love whenever I can play with some fresh ingredients. Basically, this is something that's pretty healthy. You can use this on a lot of other different things. We'll probably try another different recipe because I was able to take half of this marinade and put it to the side. But super fresh, lots of citrus. You can't go wrong. Let's get right to it. Okay, first things first, we're going to get into this mojo marinade. As you can see, we've kind of already broke out the fresh ingredients. We got a little bit of everything over here. Right here is my absolute favorite juicer, being that I do a lot of that with all these citrus trees. This was the easiest way to be able to kind of get these oranges, lemons, and these limes all juiced up. So getting into the ingredients, you got, I put the exact amounts on there. You got orange juice, everything's fresh, lemon juice, you got lime, we got some ground cumin, some kosher salt, some oregano, some ground peppercorns, some thyme. I didn't have fresh thyme. Went with some olive oil. We got a whole bulb of garlic, which ended up being like 15 individual cloves. We got a handful of cilantro, and then we also got us a sweet onion all chopped up. We're going to go ahead and get to the next portion of this, and I'll show you how we're going to break this down and get this together. Okay, for the next step, we're going to be grinding down. We'll get this somewhat authentic. We'll be adding in our garlic, these peppercorns, along with our salt. And we're going to grind that all together here. And I'll show you what that's going to look like. All right, so when you get done putting together that paste, this is what your mixture should look like roughly. All I'm going to do is run over and I'll grab one of these juices. I'll go with the lime just to kind of get some liquid in here and loosen this up. I'm going to break this up a little bit, and we're going to be adding this all over along with the dry ingredients to my main bowl here to kind of mix up thorough. Alright, so that's what you should look like here once we get everything combined.
I'm gonna let this sit here and hang out. I'll throw a cover on top of it for about an hour, and then what I'm gonna do is we're gonna blend this, and then I'll throw my pieces of leg quarters in here, and it's gonna hang out overnight in the fridge.
Hey team, I want to jump in here real quick and let you know thanks for following along as always. And for if you're new to the channel, go to that bottom right corner, take a second to subscribe, check out some of the cooks that you've missed, and for everybody else, keep following along. Follow me on Instagram, find me on Facebook, and let's keep this thing rolling.
All right, so here it is an hour later. It's got a chance for those onions to start to soak in. A little bit of that oil, all that garlic that we crushed and everything, which released a ton of flavor. I mean, you can smell this from like literally the room over. I got my leg quarters sitting out here already nice and cleaned up. And pretty much what I'm about to do, I toyed with the idea of going ahead and putting slits in there like we did with our jerk chicken. But I'm not going to do that since I am going to be doing an overnight marinade. Probably won't need too long. I'm not going to be using all of this, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to blend this. I'm going to be putting some to the side. I'm going to freeze it so I can save it for another time. And then I'll go ahead and I'll get some of these packaged over here in this Ziploc bag to get ready for the night. I'll show you exactly what it looked like. All right, here is the Cuban-inspired Cuban Q Mojo marinade right there. I like to, or at least I wanted to blend this all the way up. That way when I get this out there on the pit, I don't really got to worry about it burning up or any of those spices burning up on my chicken. That should work pretty well. I'm going to put a little bit of that over there in this old bag. And then we're going to throw these two leg quarters in here to hang out overnight. And then I'm going to go ahead and vacuum seal the rest of this and throw it ahead and put it in the freezer. And there's your finished product. This going in the freezer right here. I'll bring that out at a later date. We'll figure out something fun to do with that. And then these couple chicken leg quarters, I'll pretty much be flipping them back and forth throughout the rest of the night and everything whenever I come by the fridge. And tomorrow morning, we're going to get up and get these going. All right, this is the morning of. Pretty much all I'm doing is yanking this out the refrigerator. I had this pretty much meat side down all night. Now I'm just going to flip this over and allow that to kind of work back the other way while I'm bringing this old Weber up to temperature. And then we'll get these babies on. All right, it's game time. As you can see, we got our two beautiful, smoke's getting at me. We got our two beautiful leg quarters over here with that Killer Cuban-inspired mojo sauce on there. We're pretty much going to be saving what's left of that. I'll show you. I still got my bag. I got my trusty Thermopro already dialed in to kind of keep an eye on these babies, keep an eye on my temperature. So I'm going to go ahead and close this baby up. You want to put that whole side right over the meat and let it pull. Now, as far as the rest of this sauce, don't get rid of this. We're going to take this inside. I want to boil this for a good 5 minutes. Once it gets to boiling, we want to kill off anything that was in there as far as that raw chicken. And we're going to be using this to baste our actual chicken here as we move along. So make sure you get it out of this bag. Get rid of this bag. Boil this for a minute. We'll come back. All right, we in here. It is about 32 minutes after we just put these on. Not a whole lot to see, but I'm only bringing you in for one reason. I've been rolling nice and easy at about 275, which is cool. Getting a little bit of that mesquite smoke from that lump charcoal in there. All I did was just spin these babies around, and I got my sauce that I went ahead and boiled off, which had the house smelling amazing. Of course, I'm about to give it a quick little bathe of that, and then we're gonna close this right back up and let it keep on going. Right now, I'm at about 130 internal. Just like that. I can tell my internals have dropped down since I got this baby opened up. Got that sauce on there. Let's close this thing up. I'll bring y'all back in about another half. A little over an hour in. These babies are starting to develop some beautiful color. I'm only at about 155 internal. Been taking them slow. Like I said, I like to let some of that inner stuff render out of these babies. And we also over here working this base game. This is that leftover marinade that we had in here that we went ahead and boiled for a while. You know, it's got a little bit of oil in there with that olive oil, and it's obviously got a ton of good herbs and spices and everything else. So it's gonna give us a beautiful color, as you can already see. and it's also going to give us a whole lot of flavor coming off of these babies. We are about ready to start working on the skin. I probably want to get these up to about 175 before they come off this pit today. So I got a good 20 degrees to go. I got some extra pieces of lump charcoal that I just fired up over there in my charcoal chimney. I'm gonna be throwing them in just a bit, and we'll pump this up to around over 300, and we're gonna finish these puppies off and get us a nice little bit of color on the top to char them off. Okay, you see it. Beautiful looking color. Flip these babies over, finishing these off. About 2 hours here as I took them in nice and slow. Kicked this baby up to about 325. We just give them a quick little kiss, and we're gonna pull them up off of here, plate them up. And just like this, here you have it. Cuban inspired Killer Miller Q style mojo chicken. Check it out, baby. Focus back in there. We got us a beautiful looking little bit of char on there. We did a lot of basting, so I'm not super duper crispy, but we're gonna be super duper flavorful. Got us a little extra marinade. I'm gonna ruin my dinner by actually tasting this up front, but I plan on throwing a little bit of that marinade on some maybe red potatoes, along with maybe a little side salad. We're gonna see what it do. All right, so we got that thing done. Like I said, roughly took us about 2 hours to get there, but all in all, I'm already happy. Then tasted the marinade, it's great. We got good char on this chicken. Overall, I'm happy. I'm gonna slide this over to the side, and I'm going in right for this one. This chicken's got a chance to rest for a good second. Get right through there. Ooh-wee. Nice and juicy. I can smell the smoke. I'll get rid of that. And now let's get to the best part. Please say that was on camera. Needless to say, this chicken is juicy and flavorful. Lots of citrus, lots of garlic. I love it. I'm gonna save this because it's supposed to be for my dinner. But y'all check me out next week. We got a whole nother cook coming. Killer Miller Q. Peace.